Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy MKS here, back with part two. Finally back here with part two after a brief absence of my quest, I suppose, to raise awareness and empowerment of dyslexia all around the world, as it's International Dyslexia Awareness Day. I think it used to be the 4th, but they changed it to the 8th. But anyway, as ever, I'm a bit nervous, but I hope to do the best job I can and put the best effort in. So I hope dyslexic individuals and supports of dyslexia families, including that kind of thing, and experts will be interested. Anyone who's interested in dyslexia, I hope will be interested in these videos, and they'll be based on the theme of awareness, support, empowerment, and things like that. There's so much information out there on YouTube and Facebook and Google and whatnot, but there's only 24 hours in a day, so it's difficult to read them all and share them all as much as I wanted to. So I'm trying to prioritize. That's one thing, because I have ideas overload, so many ideas and thoughts and plans in my mind that I struggle to focus on prioritizing. But as I say, there's a lot of great work being done made by Dyslexia, Dyslexic Advantage, and many others, but and even all around the world. So I commend those who are doing such work. Sorry, my voice is not 100% clear because I know it never is, but some of my voice is not that clear because I've got a bit of a cold or flu, as I mentioned previously, I'm sure. Anyway, here is the second part of my list, ideas number 11 to 20. So I hope people out there with dyslexia, as I say, and the supporters and families and all those who are interested in the field of dyslexia will enjoy this video, watch it, like it, share it, and all that good stuff. And I think that covers everything for the intro. Sometimes I do forget things, but I'm going to crack on because I don't want the intro to be too long. I don't want the video to be too long. So I hope people out there, I hope people will find out so much about dyslexia by the end of these videos, and it will inspire so many dyslexics. So with that being said, here goes. So number 11, I'd love to change perceptions of dyslexia and amongst dyslexics themselves and experts and teachers, parents, the wider society, and things like that. I'd love to, as I often mentioned, I'd love to travel to Italy and share my ideas for empowering dyslexics through football, so including dyslexics in Italy, helping them to be included through or via football, and through / via football, and or soccer, calcio, whatever you call it, for any Americans out there, or people in Italy itself, and also through Celtic, as I often mentioned. I'd also love to celebrate and support dyslexic inventors, ideas people, investors, and that kind of thing. Celebrate those who already are or have been such, and also that help more to become such in the future, and showcase what dyslexic people can do. Again, I hope dyslexics will have the confidence themselves, and I hope other people will see that dyslexic people have contributed so much to the world and can do so, and with the right encouragement can do so much. And I'd love to find out what sort of things are happening in especially developing nations, which is another thing. I'd love to travel to developing nations if and whenever I get the opportunity to do so, and travel with my fellow dyslexics. Yeah, hopefully I can change perceptions. I think that covers everything for point number 11. Number 12, on that note about inspiration and things like, I'd love to see more dyslexic mentors, role models, and that kind of thing, and encourage people to invest in the dyslexic community and see what people are doing for the dyslexic community and things like that. Look at how companies, politicians, governments, councils, businesses, organisations, parents, teachers, and the wider society generally, and everyone else, or everyone in society, as much as possible, as many people in society basically as possible, can support dyslexics. And I'd love to encourage my fellow dyslexics who have done well to have academies for dyslexics, especially those in developing nations, as an anti-imperialist and someone who wants to help those from poorer backgrounds. I'd love for people like Richard Branson through Virgin Unite to have Virgin training academies for dyslexics to start their own businesses in parts of, like, say, Nigeria, Kenya, South Africa, and the rest of Africa, and also Asia, and I suppose former colonies as well. So it could be former reparations, perhaps a controversial idea. But I hope for dyslexics to be inspired and encouraged through reading about famous dyslexia success stories, and all sorts of things like that. Number 13, I'd love for dyslexics to react to have reaction videos. If I can get a group of dyslexics together, I would love for us to sit down and react to, like, scary videos and make our own scary stories, scary videos, pictures, and all sorts of things through dyslexic creativity. And also, especially on Friday the 13th, next Friday, which is next Friday, of course, and also on Halloween itself, which is the 31st, I'm sure. It is the 31st, right? But yeah, anyway, sorry, I'm sure it's the 31st, but I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, I'd love for us to make and create those sorts of things using our dyslexic imagination and creativity, and also read and hear about some of the negative things as well, some of the problems we face, like timekeeping and other challenges we face, confidence, how society treats us, bullying, low self-esteem, or other issues that we face, getting our ideas on paper, for instance, and things like that, as individuals and as a group, or more generally, and that sort of thing. I suppose there's a place for the negatives as well. So I'd love to hear and read from both sides of the fence. I suppose number 14. Having said that, I mostly want to focus more on strengths and positives. So I know in history people have focused more on the negatives anyway. So I think there's been enough focus on the negatives. But it would be interesting for people to find out some of the things we're weak at. Like I hear a lot of dyslexic people are good at business, but we struggle to remember people's names. So I wonder if people knew that the reason why we forget their names is because we're dyslexic and we're not doing it on purpose, whether that would help us to be even more successful in business and have even more contracts, obviously, which would help to be more successful and things like that. And one dyslexic strength is problem solving. So I'd love for people to find out more about like the creativity, problem solving, and things like that. Number 15, I'd love for dyslexics to get involved and talk about what your goals are and your ideas and suggestions. Again, I'd love to put together groups that could travel together to Italy to talk about football, soccer, calcio, whatever you call it, Celtic, like Glasgow Celtic, and also working with Celtic all around the world and the Italian teams around the world to share ideas about what we can contribute to Italian football and Celtic, and also to developing nations and things like that. So I'd love to have those sorts of projects and how we can help each other's goals, like how dyslexics perhaps could help me with my 5 causes and goals generally that I like to work on. I love to work on and things like that. But yeah, helping dyslexics to reach their full potential and to believe in themselves. But to believe in themselves is a part of that thing to help us to go towards our full potential. I also hope to share links or encourage people to check out. So please check out, I know I probably mentioned this before, but please check out Made by Dyslexia, the Dyslexic Advantage, the Childmind Institute, Understood, which I think is connected to the Childmind Institute, and the International Dyslexia Association, and the Yale Centre for Dyslexia and Creativity, and others. I love to connect all of those organisations, all individuals and organisations to do with dyslexia, to work on those projects I wish to work on, and also to support dyslexic projects all around the world, including, as I say, in developing nations, but as I say, either the UK, US, Europe, and everywhere really, as well as developing nations, parts of Asia, Africa, and especially former colonies. I'd love to help them. There was, for instance, a World Dyslexia Assembly in Sweden and in New York. There's been events in London and other parts of America as well, and that kind of thing. But I'd love to see that sort of thing be taken to Nigeria, Cameroon, Kenya, places like that. Maybe people in those countries could help to get involved. So getting politicians to invite dyslexics from all around the world as soon as possible to go to do conferences. If I was more organised, sometimes I think of an idea a bit too late and that kind of thing. I need extra time as I'm dyslexic. I partly joke, but I would love for us to host those events as soon as possible. It would have been great to do so today, as it's International Dyslexia Day, but oh well, it is going to have to be another day if it's going to happen. Hopefully it will happen before the end of October this year, preferably. Number 16, I'd love for there to be committees and think tanks to talk about what dyslexic people can achieve, what we've already contributed, how we can use that for momentum, and what are the best strategies for teaching dyslexics, what dyslexics can teach each other, how we can support each other as a community, how the world can support us, like how businesses, organisations, councils, governments, politicians, and so on and so forth. As many people and organisations as possible, businesses and whatnot, could support us, invest in us, and things like that. I think it'd be pretty cool if we could achieve so much. And I was going to say this at point number 16, but I'm going to say it at point number 17, because I often think of imaginations. I'd love to see what we can achieve with our imaginations. And I know I mentioned this a while back, but I'd love to see like the case for investing in dyslexics. I think it'd be pretty cool if Cascade Investments, Berkshire Hathaway, Bridgewater, BlackRock, the PIF from Saudi Arabia, and all sorts of investors, all possible investors around the world, invested into dyslexics, into dyslexic startups, dyslexic networks, businesses, and all sorts of things. I think are pretty awesome. Dyslexic projects and our creativity and things like that, our out of the box thinking, be great for different nations to learn about as well. And I'd love to see what different nations can do to support us as well, to say what nation supports the most, and that kind of thing. Number 18, again, I want to be positive about dyslexia and hear many positive stories made by dyslexia, the Dyslexia Advantage, and many others. I've talked a lot about the positive things, and I think that's pretty cool. I know my voice is a bit monotone, so please forgive me, but I'd love to be able to be as good in my delivery as Martin Bloomfield from Dyslexia Bites. But on that note, I'd love to connect dyslexic YouTubers and for dyslexics to make, I'd love to put a template out there or an idea and other people to be able to run with it and help me to manage and organize them on my behalf. As I say, there's only 24 hours in a day. There's only one of me, unfortunately. Or probably that's for the best, to be honest. But it would be great if someone, for instance, I have an idea for a YouTube channel called A Dyslexic YouTuber, but at the moment I only want to run this one YouTube channel. Maybe I should run different channels for my different ideas, like for football and whatever else, so that they're for different people with different interests. But at the moment, I like to focus on just having one YouTube channel, and I make Facebook videos as well. But I'd love for a dyslexic person to create the channel, a dyslexic YouTuber, and another one to create the dyslexic YouTuber, and then another one could be the dyslexic YouTubers in the plural, where a group of dyslexics react to things and discuss things together, and make videos together, basically. So it'd be pretty cool, and then we can network together and basically subscribe to each other and just generally support each other, watch each other's videos, like each other's videos, and things like that. Number 19, I'd love to celebrate and support dyslexics in software development and STEM generally. And number 20, also love to see how the older generations can coach and encourage, mentor, teach, train up, and whatnot, people with dyslexia and special needs teachers. Talk about what I'd love to hear and listen to special needs teachers, dyslexia specialist teachers, talking about what they found are the best ways to teach dyslexic people, so people can share that knowledge and information. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I am out. Peace out.